Hello everyone, welcome back today. I'm excited to take you on a journey. This jacket is just a piece of clothing. It's a canvas to tell the story of stability, resilience, and strength. Come here, boo. Okay. All right, what's positive? We're gonna break this down in segments here. Recording videos for my Earth Element jacket. How I started it. Back up, 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 back up. What's positive? So I was watching Avatar, the last Neo Bender. And as they were introducing all these different elements, and I'm a fan of Tai Chi as well, specifically Chen style, which is kind of like Katara's water style. So as I was looking at that, it was around the same time when I was getting really into testing out just designing things in general, you know, producing rather than consuming. So I thought, I was already into denim jackets and I needed one that actually fit. So started to work off that. So the first one I did was actually the Earth Element, which is this jacket right here. And then boom, I thought about how do I want to start with that? Well, first off, I want to do a vintage trucker jacket. Not only to get that OG feel, but one that's also going to be more grounded. I feel like something that's vintage or also is not mass produced in the last, let's just say 20, 30 years. Feels more rooted in how it was produced. Say I'm post-rationalizing, whatever. Okay, but at the end of the day, this jacket is more grounded than a hippie doing yin yoga at Millennium Park, okay? So we started from there. And then once we did the Earth Element, thought about the zodiac signs. So we've got the 3 zodiac signs, the 3 pillars, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Now my notes here, got some notes about Taurus. How it kind of ties in. Taurus, strength and persistence. Virgo, meticulous in strategy. And Capricorn, that unrelenting, my ambition, unrelenting ambition. Okay, that also ties into, LeBron James, the famous Capricorn, whose career is also kind of modeled after getting better with time, much like this jacket and vintage jackets do as well. Okay, so now we got these. Let's get a closer look at them. Okay, Taurus patch. Virgo. Capricorn. King Cobra. Okay, so when I first thought about Cobra, let me see this. Maybe, not really. There it is. When I was first thinking about the Cobra aspect, I was thinking about what is the most grounded animal or even just entity that I could think of. And the snake is closest to the earth. It's literally got its belly on the earth. So I started there, and then I thought about the apex of sort of that. The King Cobra perfectly came to mind. Its position is also strategically placed as well. Again, towards that grounding element. Some of the other jackets I've done, it's been mostly up here in the center part, but here we kept it more grounded so that it added to that earth element feel, And really, the Cobra part also adds to the discipline of sort of this jacket. And it's kind of like if you're that one person in the family that's on a diet and you go home for a holiday dinner and you're looking over all this stuff, you're just like, you gotta say no to that mac and cheese and sweet potato salad and sweet potato pie twice? That discipline, that strength, that resilience, that's what it takes, okay? Another sort of through line of this jacket and these elements in the earth in general is strength and reliability. So when I think of that, it's kind of like when I think about airlines, right? Strength and reliability. I'm definitely not thinking of Spirit. You know what? I'm definitely not thinking of American Airlines now that I'm thinking about it. You know why? Because I'm not feeling strong about their reliability to take off, or we're going to take off on time. That's for sure. American Airlines has been tripping lately, and United. Okay, so see the inside right here too. Little Calvin. Show that it's kind of, got the kind of wear to it, the faded denim, So let's see what it looks like on. Normally not a fan of the blue on black, though. Look what we're doing here. We're doing it. This is what it looks like. So, snug fit for me, but perfect, honestly. Keeping it grounded in the summer. So, I got some more notes on here. I'm gonna keep running it back. I'm sure a lot of you are new as this cycles in and out. So, I'm gonna keep running this spiel, as it were. Okay, we're back. We're back. Okay, so how do I do this? We're gonna start from the top. We're gonna start from the top, and what we have here is a jacket representation of the earth element. Now, how I got here is I started watching Avatar again, and I was like, what would kind of a clothing representation of that look like if you could sort of embody those different elements, you know, as he's gathering up his infinity stones, as it were, throughout, throughout the show. How can we embody that? So boom, being the nerd that I am, yep, threw it on there, and I was like, you know what? Let's start with Earth. Shout out to Toph. Shout out to Toph. So elements, easy kind of undergo from that. Semi-thread under that was the Zodiacs. So I labeled the three pillars right here. We got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We got the strong reliability and the stubbornness and the loyalty of the Taurus. You got the meticulousness, got the strategy. You got to just get the shit done of the Virgo. And then also for the Capricorn, we have that unrelenting ambition. Similar to, how do we put it? LeBron James, another famous Capricorn. So from there, for these back patches, I thought about, instead of doing more of the Zodiac, I thought, what is another way you can sort of represent that? And that was in the form of the spirit animal, which is also tied to Avatar as well, especially when they ran into that forest and they look around for the spirit animal. Like, oh man, what's going on with this forest? Like, why is everything burning? We gotta sit and meditate and find it. That's what I was thinking. So from there, we went with the OG to the ground. The King Cobra. Always on the ground, always ready to strike. Okay? Also, very strong and reliable. Much unlike Spirit and American Airlines, because I'm not feeling very strong about their reliability to take off on time, or really at all, for that matter. Okay? At all, for that matter. So, another sort of mantra or sort of feeling I think of when you put on this jacket, you think about a little strength and stability is like, let's just say you're that one person who's on a diet, you're out, you see, you're at the family cookout or at your friend's dinner and you just, mac and cheese, potato salad, sweet potato pie. You gotta deny that twice? Twice? This is that stability you put on. That I don't give a-ness that you can wear. That'll get you there. It'll get you there. So that has to do with the placement. These up here are pillars. That's why they're placement. Calvin Klein, strong, enduring brand, vintage. That's why I chose it for this as a canvas. The navy blue felt, and indigo felt closer to, when I looked it up, it was more of a natural denim color. So that made sense with the earth, as opposed to the lighter or black ones I've used before. Cut the sleeves a little bit, because it's a little bit young on the boy. But yeah, it's a XL. Just kidding, it's a small. That's why I gotta cuff it. Let's see what it looks like on. Backwards. Jeez. Okay. Who else do you know wear jackets like this? No. Okay. So here it is. And again, the intent with creating this jacket, foolishly or not, was to embody these elements as I wear them. You know, again, circling back to the why, or sort of what are the reasons, or even a core belief of what I see fashion as, or just clothing, is a way to express sort of what's on your mind at that point, how you're feeling, who you are, who you want to connect with certain people in a certain way, what you're interested in. All that kind of speaks to the clothing you wear at any given time, regardless of how much effort you put into it or not, you know. Again, thrifted a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Go through some of these other jackets in that same kind of style. Let's see. A lot of jackets. Okay, this one is water. Shout out to Katara. Shout out to My Sifu. I'm explaining it like this. Doesn't look better, but who cares at this point? All right. All right. So this is the water element. All right. Similar setup. You got the 3 pillars up here, the 3 water signs, and then the spirit animal here. The jacket itself, vintage Levi's, thrifted it from a market down in Texas. One highlight about the jacket before we get into the patches, you can see it almost has a water effect in the lines. So that right away, I was like, you know what, this has to be water. it just felt like this represent like the crystal clear water you see on vacation, you know, or in any just tropical, just clean place. Only vacation for the people who don't live there, or holiday. All right, so water signs. I'm a little bit biased, Pisces. I'm a Pisces moon, so we got the Pisces here. Cancer's here, emotive people with feelings here more. And then Scorpios, y'all know about Scorpios, don't cross them. So we've got the water protection up here, water mantras. And then the killer whale, orca. Two things. First, what I thought of sort of the top of the food chain and also the top of the, maybe just the king of the ocean. You might just think of a shark. But also you do a little bit of research. Killer whales, they get them up out of here. They get them up out of here easily. So, and they also are gentle creatures and misunderstood as well. We need to get them up out the seas, the zoos. What's it called? Sea worlds. Get them about the sea worlds. Anyway, so we've got this rich sort of killer whale patch here. And unlike the Earth one, unlike the Earth, as you can see, the snake is at the bottom. We've got the killer whale swimming in this one, swimming in the frame here. So that's a note to the placement of this one. And we're gonna go ahead and call him Orca just to help with the branding. Go ahead and call it Orca. All right, so that's those tied together. Let's see what it's like when it's actually on. Okay. Ooh, this is a nice touch too. Faded denim in between there. All right. Again, this one fits a little bit more snug, not snug, boxy. It fits well with the layer. I've got a sleeveless on, long sleeve, and this. And again, it's about embodiment, right? So this is again embodying that water element, that creative, that free-flowing, that sort of imaginative sort of element. And also just a counter, perhaps, if you're feeling a bit fiery that day or you just are fiery in nature. Or maybe it's Scorpio season. Maybe it's Pisces season. Maybe it's Cancer season. You repping either one of those three? Again, though, element first is the intention, but how the user sort of interprets that, all the other references are there. It started as elementals. Okay. Earth. We can go to the work in progress air now. We'll go to work in progress air. So speaking of work in progress, if I was to add anything to these, again, it would be mantras of the water element. So it would be something a little bit more flow-based. So I'd add something here around flow, letting go, be free, Sort of let it breathe easy. Everything is tied to water, just how like water and river flows. Even just like a patch of just a river flow. You know, someone just peacefully just meditating, sitting as the river's flowing and they're just unbothered. Something like that. Earth? On the low, I would add Brock, Pokemon trainer. I'd add places closest to the equator. I'd add places known for their grounding, so perhaps like holy sites throughout the world. Like if there's patches on there, that are places just really where people just go to tap in, you know? I think I might even have a patch like that, just like a tree rooted. So something like that. Okay. Speaking of Virgos, actually, we're gonna go to a little bit of the Zodiac series. With the spirit animal of the Virgo here. Fox, cunning, strategic, quick-witted, also strong, and ferocious as well. And this is just a beautiful patch as well. Look at that orange. Then we got the My Dark Twisted Beautiful Fantasy Virgo patch there, for whatever reason. And what I mean by for whatever reason, the artist chose to display Virgo in that way. It's the astrologer sign. So we put it there over the heart. Again, describing the jacket first, we got vintage Levi's. Again, thrifted it from a market. One standout I like about the jacket, this came like this. It's like a frayed collar. You just kind of let it go, see? I'm even just ripping it there. It just adds to that sort of out of a time capsule look. Again, more details here of like frayed edges and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Again, frayed edges. Stuff that's kind of just adding to it. Washed a little bit. Listed at XL, but as you can see, made in a different era, so sizing's a bit different. Although this fit goes hard. The all black, noted for sure. So yeah, this one's cut a little bit young. One of the first younger cuts I saw that I really messed with, Young Thug had that, Free Jeffrey. Again, some details here. Little E, Levi, so probably 80s vibes, 80s, 70s. And yeah, again, tighter fit, but you can still get a fisticuffs off. That's the Virgos. Okay, next one. Ooh. This is Bridging the Gap. Vintage Gap. Thrifted this one again. This jacket is for the Libras. So much like that gap right here, or the gap to level out the scales, that's where the Libra comes from and comes in. See, details. Again, I like the faded nature. Like, look at that. That all came with the jacket. You know, that's just something that comes over time. So, again, it's just a fire sort of accent to it. And the spirit animal here for the Libras I did was a snow leopard. Elegant, beautiful, somewhat social, but also loves their alone time as well. Loves beauty and aesthetics. And as you can see, it's pretty phenomenal patch in terms of the accents of the different grays. Again, center placement for balance, as well as it's on its way. It's on its way roaming, it's moving, it's doing its own thing. It could be aloof at times, perceived, outwardly perceived as aloofness. So another way to kind of describe it myself, but I've heard some Libras be that way as well. Anyway. Whoop, there it is. Here it is. Okay. This is the try it on look. As you can see, it took me a little while to get that on, but more of a boxy fit, but was perfect with the lengths off the rack. XL. Boom. Okay. What things I would add to this? I would add, so I would do some research on the most beautiful places in the world aesthetically, and then I would create patches and add those on here as well to kind of represent that Libra's love for aesthetics. I'd also do some research on like the most harmonious songs, especially ones sounding to me. And as those records, I would make those into patches and pins. So you've got harmony, you've got aesthetics, you got harmony represented in music, movies, television shows, food, just anything you could think of that's harmonious. And harmony is described as not something necessarily in perfect balance all the time either. It's kind of the perfect amount of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. So, already got the scales in there. Yeah. Maybe some flags that depict some famous Libras. Keep brainstorming on that. Next jacket. This one we have the self-portrait jacket. So, started off, ironically, with the Zara jacket. Many and many, turned it into a one-on-one. First time working with black denim as well. I started working on this probably 2018 is when I started first sewing patches on here. So, yeah, we'll go through them one by one. Black Panther patch. So cold. Ode to the party, ode to channeling that ferocity, that aggressiveness, while also just ode to channeling that sort of standing on it. Standing on it. You know? Lone Star. I actually got this before, right after I moved from Texas back to Chicago. So it was an ode to that. It also represents sort of when you're on your own sort of path. It feels like, and a lot of times you are that lone star in the night sky. It's just you. And Lone Star beer. No, I don't drink beer. Good year. A mantra. This is a mantra patch. Something I always refer to as maybe a bad day, but it's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be a good year. You can make it a good year. So it's just a mantra. When I look down, I always think of that as well. This Jungle Expert came across this patch around the same time I was watching One Piece for the first time. And so I was automatically attracted to the pirate ship. Still in that mantra of freedom is the #1 goal in life. So that's what I view the One Piece as. So that just would look cold when Jungle Expert is like, yeah, obviously. Have I been in a jungle? No. So that's why this is ironic. Though, mantra, calling it in. I've got sunshine. Hola. Ooh, gotta read past that. So, we love the sun. Everybody loves the sunshine. Growing up in the Midwest, kind of programmed anytime it's sunny outside to go outside. So, it's still kind of, yeah. So, it's a symbol for a brighter day, and it's also a symbol for, you can do more. Fire logo, Pacific Air Force. Love the logo. And then also, love the West Coast. Air, a mantra to Libra and the air signs. And the force is just like, again, stand on it. Bet on yourself. Bet on your friends. Bet on your family. Psych, just bet on yourself. Betting on yourself in an ode to the day job. Moving on to the back here. Mars Task Force. Just instantly, I imagine a futuristic, just sort of, not necessarily police, but investigative force that is just like looking at intergalactic problems and issues. I'm like, yep, that sounds dope. Intergalactic Detective. I'm in. So that's where the Mars Task Force comes from. What does this say? The colors combination is fire. Truthfully, I haven't looked up what it is in the U.S. military. I'm sure they did some fried shit, but for now, they're my people. The made-up version of the task force are my people. Log off! Not right now, though. Just kidding. Not right now. This is another mantra patch. Got this at a spot in Chicago. And the woman actually makes her own patches. So this is her brand, Log Off. Again, something getting a little bit overwhelmed or just time to reset. It's time to be in nature. It's a good time. The dragon. The dragon's an ode to the Dragon Ball Z dragon. The dragon's an ode to the Nine Tails. Dragon in Naruto is an ode to that ultimate sort of peak. Oh, it's an ode to my Sifu as well, who taught me Tai Chi, and that was his school. So, ooh, a notification from Kava. Cool out, Kava, cool out. So, where was I? Oh, the dragon. So, and it's also kind of an ode to that final mission or that final boss that you gotta slay. All right, so that green berry beret, the skull beret, aesthetically, it was just fire. I was drawn to it. Always been a fan of French culture as well, French culture. So the beret was of that. Even though this is clearly military-ish, that does not matter. So, in this regard, obviously it went well, color scheme-wise. And that skull, again, is kind of the yin to the yang of the sunshine. It's like, hey. Also gives a little memento mori as well. It could all end. So do it now. Do it now. All right, so finally, we'll talk about additions. We'll put it on this way, just so y'all can see. The thing I really love about this jacket is how much the colors pop on it. So I've been unafraid to just put as many patches and remove patches on it, because it's like, yo, they pop, and this is always a way to add some color to a fit if I'm in that all black like John Wick. So here we've got Amsterdam. I got this while I was in Amsterdam about a month and a half ago now. Maybe about 6 weeks ago, yeah. And this right here is gonna be the passport area. So I've got a Barcelona patch, got a Madrid patch. Matter of fact, let me get that. Okay, so I got all these patches while I was abroad, most recently. This one, truthfully, I got probably 5 years ago, maybe even 7 now when I first went to Paris. And this is one of the ones up here, and I'm relocating it. So, again, passport area. So each of them are gonna go here. You feel me? So and then when it's time, and then in addition, since I went to Nice as well, I'm gonna add that one, and then a Portugal one. if I can, I want to keep it city-based, but if the city doesn't have one, go ahead and get the country. Or make the city one. And we'll do that on this side as well, when that starts to fill up. Up here, going Chicago. It's in my blood. It's all my family's from, still lives. I got roots in the burbs, but my experiences in the city as well, and live there. So, that's where we are now. That's gonna go here. Will that stay? Yeah, that's gonna go there. All right. Now we can see what the in on body look. See, when you end up with that all black like John Wick, you still get the colors to pop. Like, look at that. All these patches are popping, even from the shorts, you know? So yeah, this is the many of many to the one of one. This is the earth patch I was talking about before, which probably none of you heard. Based on how this goes. So this is something I would add to it. Again, the patch would pop because of the contrast, and it adds to the earth element, you know. You know what I'm saying? Time to get some lunch. Cheese!